Hi, my name is Marcus Mosconi. Today I'm going to talk about one of my hobbies that I really enjoy called Dungeons and Dragons. Now, when I was in high school, I was part of my thespian troupe, which is the drama club. Back when I was there, I acted out many scenes, played multiple characters, and had a lot of fun doing it. It allowed me to be someone I wasn't, and that was something that I really enjoyed back in high school. However, when I got to college, I didn't have the time to invest into drama and acting and rehearsing anymore, so I had to basically drop that, unfortunately. But that all changed when I met my friend Sam. My friend Sam introduced me to a game called Advanced Dungeons and Dragons. Now, Dungeons and Dragons is a game where you create a character and put their statistics, personality, and their looks onto a piece of paper. And once you do that, you act out all of what that character does. In the game of Dungeons and Dragons, it's a lot like a video game, except you have complete control over every aspect of your character, so it's very dynamic. So that's one thing that's very fun. You get to act out their personality and act as though you were interacting with a real live person when interacting with your friends and people in the world. Now, this is already very similar to drama, so I was already hooked with it. So we played with my friend Sam, and we played and completed a campaign that he created, and I really enjoyed that. And once he did that, I wanted to run a campaign and write one. So I became what is known as a dungeon master, and I started being the rule keeper basically for the next edition, 3.5. Now, the dungeon master, their entire job is to be a referee of sorts to make sure that the rules are followed for the game. They also create the world that the players play in, and they also are every other person that the players aren't. So I had a lot of fun with this. I created a campaign where my friends were on opposite teams, and each action that they did directly affected the enemy team. And it was a fun competition between friends that I really enjoyed and my friends really enjoyed. So, let's move on to the most recent edition, and one that I've been playing for a long time now. This is the 5th edition of Dungeons & Dragons, and this one I've played 4 campaigns in with my friends. And the beauty of each edition of D&D is it added something new, it added new rules, new people, and all of these things that make the game more streamlined, more dynamic, and just a much more interesting game to play with your friends. Now, Wizards of the Coast is the company that created Dungeons & Dragons, and what they do, for people that don't want to create their own stories, they sell books that have stories already. So, what I wanted to do, when I saw that, is I wanted to create a book like that. So I began working on my own guidebook. I called it The Broken World. And it's basically a story about a world that has gone into ruin due to the selfish actions of a king. And now the adventurers must band together in order to save it from its own destruction. I've put a lot of time into it, writing more than 153 pages, creating visuals for my players to walk through, and breathing life into my entire world. I create these visuals by going into a program here that I use, and it allows me to create rooms and dungeons for my players. This allows me to sculpt the rooms into the images. It allows me to create different shapes. It allows me to draw all kinds of things that I want to draw. And it's a really cool and easy way for me to make a very interesting environment for my players. Now, what I can say that Dungeons & Dragons has done for me is it has sparked that love I had for drama back into my life. Something that I very dearly miss. And with D&D, you can play someone and be someone for a second that you just aren't in life. You can please someone different for a little bit. And when I become a teacher, I want students to be able to use their imagination and to be able to think outside the box and dynamically and differently in order to succeed in what they do. I feel like in mathematics, you really need an open mind and a creative mind in order to succeed. And I feel like Dungeons and Dragons is something that has definitely led me to think outside the box in my math. So, this game, it means a lot to me. It was how I met a lot of my friends. It's how I maintain a lot of my friendships and how I've made a lot more friendships. And it's also one of my favorite hobbies. I hope to one day, with this book when it's done, I hope to publish it and see if Wizards of the Coast might take it. But that's going to be a long time from now. It's not even close to being done. So, thank you so much.